Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale podcast.
Let's go.
And welcome into the Rob and Kale podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for checking out the show this evening. We appreciate it as always. Rob Sanders here in Columbia, South Carolina. My friend, for the most part, we can cuss at each other, still be friends, but he is in the upstate. He's the best damn Gamecock YouTuber on the planet. Feared by a lot of folks. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
What's up, gang? How's everybody doing tonight? Sunday. Pretty nasty day in most parts of the viewing area, I do believe. Hope you're all staying safe and warm out of the elements.
Shout out to the people online with the We Don't Care stuff from Jackpot. That's slowly becoming a bit that we didn't think would be a bit.
Oh, we don't care. We don't care. Pretty
funny. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. Not really. We got stuff to get into this evening. We've got Gamecocks getting a big commitment. We'll talk about that. And is this a commitment that could change things? And in some eyes, maybe. We shall see. But hey, a lot of different stuff we're going to get into. First of all, thanks to Callaway's Bar and Grill for sponsoring the show, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. I'll be sponsoring the Bracket Challenge coming up here in March. We do that sort of like we do the football pick'em challenge. Yeah. We got to talk about, if we get a chance, Jackpot, we'll talk a little bit about the Gamecock basketball team and how they've shit the bed again. And we'll talk a little bit about some other stuff too, but we've got the big football commitment we'll get into in a moment. But before we do that, let's thank Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, who's sweating right now because his beloved Dallas Cowboys are they're on the ropes right now out in San Francisco. But anyway, DNC Trucking and Transport sponsors Fireside Chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, tell us a story.
All right, let's see what kind of BS I can come up with here. It sucks to be a Gamecock. We were working awful hard to go 7-5 next season. Our basketball team is also a failed abortion. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. There's a part of that Jackpot agrees with. We may get into in a moment, but hey, Jackpot, we've got Gamecocks get a big recruit, number one recruit in the state.
Yeah, big recruit in more ways than one.
Yeah. He is a big, huge guy, but this young man is the highest rated offensive line prospect to ever go to the University of South Carolina, according to something that I read earlier today. Brandon Shell had that title before. Brandon Shell's still playing with the Miami Dolphins. But this young man, Mr. Pringle, I believe is his name, is going to come to South Carolina. He's, 6'7", 330 pounds. I mean, just a mammoth young man.
Yeah, the big 6'7", 338 pounder out of Woodland High School in Dorchester, South Kakalaki.
That's right.
Down near Somerville or Charleston or somewhere down there somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
He is a big guy, and people like Taryn saying whoopity-doo. I think you need to understand this is a guy that was recruited by everyone.
Yeah.
Clemson wanted this kid. I could look down his offer list. I think Tennessee was on the list too. There was Florida. This wasn't the typical Gamecock recruit. This is a big get for Shane Beamer. And his coach
says, why didn't Dabo get him? They backed off, B-Bean. They backed off.
Hold on now. I've been respectful of your program, and you just
always an excuse. It's always, always an excuse, always something. He's not a take. didn't want him, was holding out something else.
Clemson wanted this kid too. All right, I can speak about that with the stuff that I've read, and some of the I texted someone earlier about it, so they were shocked that he went there, but they thought that he was locked up and he was going to Clemson, but apparently he said nope, I want to go to South Carolina.
Why would he? Okay. Anyway,
I'm just telling you what somebody told me. I mean, I don't follow the recruiting trail like everybody else, but I can tell you this: he is 6'7", 6'8", whatever the hell he is, and he weighs 330 pounds, and he moves like a damn panther, is what someone told me. You don't have very many kids like that are out there, and offensive linemen are the hardest thing to get, in my opinion. So I think it's a huge get for the Gamecocks. So there's that. Jay says he ain't no DeAndre Johnson.
I put a little video out earlier with a couple of his highlights, just announcing his commitment to the Gamecocks, and I got a couple of comments on it. And our own Peg and Megan commented on it, something about when will he transfer, and I said he's not going to. I said he's going to finish out his high school career at Woodland High, where he's at currently. He's not transferring. So I don't know where he heard that from.
It's nice of Peg and Megan to take a break in between his shifts there at Waffle House for making hash browns with Trevor Lawrence to make a comment about an offensive tackle. It's pretty nice of him to do that. So anyway, Peg and Megan says he'll be the next Jordan Birch. Well, bless your heart, sir.
Well, they play totally different positions, so I mean that's kind of doesn't make sense. But
I don't think Peg and Megan may not know the difference between the offensive line and the defense.
Does he know the difference between the offense and the defense? I'm not so sure about that.
Let's see here. Brock says he can't block like Talking Vols. Sir, no one can block as well as the Talking Vols. You're putting too high of a bar for that young man. Can't have any of that nonsense. Anyway. Well, and Peg and Megan also says, you know what I meant, total bust. If he's a total bust, why the hell did your former defensive coordinator want him up at Oregon? I guess he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing up there either then, right?
I mean, they don't play defense at Oregon regardless of who the coach is. So,
well, that could be fair too. Anyway, Jackpot, I'm going to open up the phones. We'll let the folks talk to us a little bit about this recruit and whatever the hell else they want. Before we do that, though, I put it in the show description. Big Barney Ross has given us a couple more of his bourbon reviews. Jim Beam Ghost and Eagle Rare. It's all in the comment or the link there on the show description, or just go to robandkaleshow.com and read the musings of Big Barney Ross, who sends us a bourbon review every week.
The old Cowboys are going to have to tighten up here. It's either if San Fran gets the touchdown on this drive, it's going to be kind of hard to come back. This has been quite the defensive struggle.
Scott says the SEC makes more NFL players. Okay. All right. Phone lines are open. Let's see here. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the program. The South Carolina basketball team is terrible. I mean, I don't even know which way to go with all that. I don't know how Clemson lost.
One thing about them, they never stop fighting.
Okay. Someone said comments about Joe Burrow today. Joe Burrow went up there in the snow and played well. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's Jerry wants to know, do you prefer Pals or Hot Dog World, Jackpot? What's your favorite?
I saw it a while ago. Hot Dog World was better than Pals. The Pals was overall was better, I thought, for the French fries and the hamburgers and just the overall ambiance of the place. But the Hot Dog World was probably better. He's asked that a couple of times. I just now got around to answering it when you said that something. Leaving a little super chat. It's a nice way to get your comment read up here on the channel.
Fair enough.
Don't get quite enough of those. Rob and I are going to be eating beans and franks this winter. We're not really raking in too much here.
Well, let's go to the phones. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
How y'all doing this evening? What y'all talking about? What's the subject matter?
Sir, you called up to the program and you don't know what we're talking about?
You sure dime, spill it.
Okay. Well, I just turned on my phone and I seen y'all was live and I just started calling. But anyways, so how are y'all feeling now? Football season's over and we're in the off season going into next year. And Rob, I was reading a story about apparently the NCAA was going to investigate Clemson over that church. Apparently, they was funneling money to a church there in Anderson, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's all fabrication by dumbasses. It was put up by a fake website. It's really sad that any fan base would go and say that a church that has pumped millions of dollars into the community to make the community better is giving money to the Clemson football program when there's absolutely zero evidence of it happening. And the head pastor is one of the biggest Gamecock fans on the planet. It just shows the level of stupidity and how wretched certain people are. I guess when Clemson beats the shit out of you as much as they normally do with a lot of these folks, they're just going to make up stuff about churches and Jesus and everything else.
A lot of circumstantial evidence pointing that way, though. Never been convicted in a court of law, but
that never happened. Never happened. The circumstantial evidence is dumb Gamecock fan sits there and says, "Why is it that there's so much money up at Clemson? Oh, we have all this money down here, but they shouldn't have money at Clemson. So I'm just going to make up shit out of thin air because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about." It's pretty much what it is.
And it's funny. I know, Rob, me and you talked about this on Facebook, about how they're flying the banner over the Orange Bowl saying, "Good luck in the bowl game, Gamecocks."
You know what? I that bothered me at one point, but you know what? Let them have their fun.
Let them have their fun. They
don't get to have their fun very often. Here's what I know. They wrote checks. Remember the scene in Top Gun where Maverick comes in with Goose at the beginning of the movie and they did the flybys and all that. And his CO looks at him and says, "You're writing checks your body can't cash." That's what this Gamecock football team is doing because they have to play Clemson next year. They have to go to Tennessee next year. So they're either going to look really, really good or they're going to get their dicks kicked in and we'll laugh at them next year. It's one of the
We're not scared. I mean, what do we have to be scared of? I mean, we got a gunslinging quarterback coming back. We got a wide receiver who runs like a mule. I mean, it's not a lot to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Steven Garcia as the quarterback than Spencer Rattler. But anyways, I was just going to say, though, here's my thing going into 23. I was seeing where the Spurs Up show, y'all know who they are. They were saying how South Carolina's going to be second in the SEC East. I'm like, okay, you got to play Tennessee. First off, Josh Heupel, being one of the most petty sons of bitches on this planet who keeps receipts, has that game circled in Neyland Stadium. Like, I would not want to be a South Carolina fan in that game.
Well, I mean, why? I mean, why should South Carolina fear them? We beat that ass by 25 points and should have been worse. Should have goddamn been worse. So why the fuck are we sitting here saying, "Well, I'd hate to see y'all come to Neyland Stadium"? It wasn't a fluke. You didn't play good. You got your ass beat. And you keep running that damn dick sucker, you're more likely to get it whooped even worse next year.
Man.
I mean, goddamn. I mean, you people are just you're off the damn rails.
1 year, and all of a sudden they're about to go kill everybody.
Sir,
man,
you have to realize that the Gamecocks had the special recipe to beat Tennessee. They had defensive backs that could go up and actually pressure guys man to man.
Yeah.
When that happens, and they had a quarterback that just didn't give a shit. He wasn't intimidated by all the defense that the Vols had. Couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, they had the perfect recipe there. I mean,
also too, it helps when you got Freddie Kitchens calling your plays.
Tennessee's a fluke thing anyway. They'll be good for
Eh,
maybe a year or two, and then they'll go back to being a
that's
shithole
that's
again.
fine there, Tater Man. We whipped your ass in the Orange Bowl, so don't. It's
Hey,
fine.
congratulations! You beat some backups. Miles Murphy didn't play. He's going to be a top 5
Well,
draft pick.
well,
But
we played our
whatever,
backups too.
whatever,
So
whatever
yeah.
you want to play, have with yourself there, buddy. Whatever you got to play yourself, my friend.
Anyways, y'all have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Brock says Big Barney Ross is the Roger Ebert of bourbon reviews. You're correct on that. Excuse me, Brock said that. Big Barney Ross says Tennessee cheats. Yeah, when's that investigation going to come to an end? When's the NCAA going to get off their ass and say, you know what, you cheated really, really bad. We don't give a shit that you fired everybody. When are they going to get hit with sanctions? Probably not going to happen.
Never.
Let's go back out to the phones and welcome into the program. Good evening.
Rob, it is Megan. Listen,
Are you sick? You sound like you you swallowed a bunch of razors. Are you hurting really bad, sir?
I'm fine. Just a late night last night. Listen, during that last call, you mentioned levels of stupidity, and I was thinking to myself, there is nobody more qualified to describe levels of stupidity than yourself, sir. You've been to all of them. So
yeah, I mean, but at least I'm not running around with a Jimbo Fisher tank top that's bedazzled like you are, sir. I don't have that problem. I also don't have the problem that I can not show respect to Stetson Bennett, who's won national titles like 2 in a row, when a bevy of quarterbacks that you hit the ground really, really hard for, so hard that you had to get reinforced knee pads to blow, that couldn't even hold what Stetson Bennett has done as far as winning national titles. I mean, I don't have that problem, but anyway, go ahead and say how that I'm an idiot. I'll be waiting for it. Go ahead.
first of all, I've had nothing but comments on that tank top. I'll have you know that.
Okay, on the tank top. Fair enough. Yeah.
Second of all, I've always been in Stetson's corner. I don't know what you're talking about
are
there.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
I don't know shit about fuck.
I do have a question for Jackpot. Or I was obviously having some fun trolling him on the video he made earlier. This commitment is a huge deal, in that Beamer has done pretty much everything else. It just hasn't landed those 5 stars, and this is a huge deal. If this ball really gets rolling, and that's the one thing he's been missing so far. Would you agree, Jackpot?
Yeah. Well, there's only so many 5 stars out there, so if he can keep landing players like this, keeping that home state talent in state, not only keeping it in state, but keeping it away from the dirty corner, the upstate, and continuing to take from them is slowly kind of whittling away. Well, I mean, not just us doing that, but I mean they've whittled away at their own program with their own stupidity and failure to recruit, failure to use the transfer portal and that type of stuff. The foundation has been crumbling for a while, and it continues to crumble. And I think we see the balance of the power shift more and more over to the good guys, where it should be.
Yeah. Rob, on that note, what are your thoughts?
I love it when Jackpot does comedy. It's great.
It's our state,
Rob.
Yeah, I just love it. Jackpot does comedy. It makes me happy.
Where do you stand on Dabo's whole stance about if you're committed to us, you don't take any other visits? Where do you stand on that, Rob?
I think it's an antiquated thing now, and I think that in the end, if we're being completely honest and not trying to troll each other here, in the end, I think he's going to have to revise that, because I think a lot of kids aren't going to be, hey, you know what? They want to have their moment in the sun. They want to go out and say, go and visit Southern Cal or where the hell ever. I may not go there, but I still want to visit. I think there's going to be plenty. And until they can, and he has to revise that. I mean, you have to adapt, sort of like the way Saban adapted a while back. If he doesn't, he's going to get left in the dust, especially with the the transfer portal, getting a fourth string quarterback. That's the only transfer Clemson has. It's insane, especially with the way that young men have left the program, just like they've been everywhere else. And I think he's going to end up having to rely on a lot of freshmen to fill holes. And when that happens, it's eventually going to catch you, because you can't hit the Trevor Lawrence dime every time. You just can't. You can't expect freshmen to go out and do what Lawrence and Ross did their freshman year. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, he does seem to be one of the more, if not the most stubborn head coach in the Power Five. When he makes his mind up, man, he really digs in. Would you agree?
Absolutely. He's got to revise the way he thinks, or he's going to get left behind.
James Thompson says we have 87 on Scully right now. The limit is 85. How do you use the transfer portal? Stop giving scholarships to your kids. Stop giving scholarships to shitheads who aren't contributing anything to the team, and give them to.
Second of all, tell Xavier Thomas, you've been here 7 fucking years. We don't need your services anymore. You could tell guys like move the hell on that haven't been an impactful player since. That's the other side of it. If you're going to have, well, I can go wherever I want as a transfer, then scholarships are 1 year, sir. You're going to come in and you're not going to come in and be in shape and do what you're supposed to do, then it's a business now. You got to move on.
I agree. Rob, I'm going to sign off with 43 and 18, sir.
Thank you for telling us your locker combination from middle school. We appreciate that, sir. You have a great night. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Jackpot's enamored with the Cowboys game.
It's third and 10 now. Their life is slowly getting choked away. Cowgirls about to shit the bed as usual.
Yeah, cowgirls and shit in the bed. That happens. All right, let's go back out to the phones. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hey, it's Chris in Georgia.
Hello, Chris.
I got a question for you. Do you think you watch pro football, right?
Are you talking to me or Jackpot? I watch.
You.
Yeah, I watch. Yeah.
Do you think that Terry Bradshaw is a better all-time quarterback than, say, Dan Marino?
I don't know, man. Champion. It's the whole championship thing. You know, it just depends on how you look at it. I didn't grow up watching Terry Bradshaw, so it's kind of hard for me to give you a very educated, educated.
Terry Bradshaw says, I mean, he admits he rode the steel curtain defense to all 4 of those titles. Now, The thing with Stetson is he won't admit that. He thinks he's the only. I mean, you had games against Kentucky. He didn't throw any touchdowns. Missouri, he didn't throw any touchdowns. He went 4 games out of his 12 regular season games, a whole third of the season, where he didn't throw a single touchdown in those games.
Well, but
you can't sit there and claim
sir, respectfully, under that logic, then we should just tie up everything and give it to Will Rogers at Mississippi State, because he had the most yards in the SEC this year. Not always. It's not always that, man. It's how you lead your team to wins.
Yep.
Yeah, he starts leading them in the playoffs. I mean, he's calling Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick's a trash can in the regular season, and then it's time for the playoffs, and his defense has done all the work to get him there, and he wants to show up for the playoffs. He didn't
look like a trash can against the Gamecocks.
He wants $1 million because he
looked like a trash can against Tennessee.
Playoff kid. My thing is if he was humble about it, it'd be one thing. But he's out there being cocky, like nobody respects it, dude. Like.
I don't blame him. I mean, Georgia fans hated him, so he hates them.
Who's
now
your favorite?
I want to talk to him. I don't blame him.
Who's your favorite Tennessee
of all time?
Of all time,
Heath Schuler.
He has 2 more national championships than Heath Schuler does. That's all you need to know.
And that's cool. I mean, Trent Dilfer has more Super Bowls than Dan Marino. I guarantee you, Trent Dilfer would rather be Dan Marino when it comes to talent.
Doesn't matter. He led his team to wins, though. You don't think winning the national title means anything? Winning 2 national titles in a row means nothing? You don't think he deserves respect for that?
It's a team award. It's a team award.
Sure.
Though that's the thing is, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there. I mean, Trent Dilfer rode one of the best pro defenses of all time to a Super Bowl, and then they cut him that offseason.
You have to go back to Trent Dilfer. It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen all the time.
But it happens when you have the best defense since the 01 Hurricanes. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks that could ride that defense. My thing is fans, not all of them, but some of them want to act like Stetson's better than, because he's got 2 national championships. He's better than Burrow. He's better than
I don't think I've heard anyone say that he's better than Joe Burrow or Cam Newton. I think as a college quarterback, he got Georgia over the hump and got them broke that championship streak that was there. I mean, I don't think they're talking about, and so that's the thing. I think a lot of people think about, oh, well, what's he going to do on the next level? Who gives a shit? He could go and buy car washes and put them out in Athens, and he'll be a millionaire for the rest of his life. Just because you're not in the NFL doesn't mean that you're not a good quarterback. Connor Shaw is one of the best quarterbacks that I ever covered at South Carolina, probably the best South Carolina quarterback ever. Gamecock fans can debate me on that. He couldn't make it in the NFL. It doesn't mean that he wasn't a good quarterback, though. At South Carolina, he throat punched just about everybody that he fucking played. It doesn't mean that he's not a good quarterback because he's not in the NFL, though.
I mean, Georgia fans, if you sat there and you tried to say, man, that 1980 championship, that's on Buck Bellew. Herschel Walker, he had nothing to do with that. The defense had nothing to do with it. That was Buck Bellew. They'd laugh in your face. But then you have Stetson Bennett doing the exact same thing. And just because he done it twice, you have Georgia fans that are like, oh, my God, he's better than anyone. He's the Georgia GOAT. Are you serious?
He's a 2-time championship winning quarterback. There's not very many of those.
There's not, but I mean, anybody ride defenses, dude. It happens. Do you think Ken Dorsey is a great college quarterback?
Look, it's not easy just to go out there and do that either. Connor Shaw had a hell of a defense at South Carolina. You could talk about the Clownies and who else was on the defense?
Melvin Ingram.
Melvin Ingram, all these guys.
Stephon Gilmore
was great. Stephon Gilmore, who's going to be a Hall of Famer in the NFL. But Connor Shaw couldn't get over the hump and win even the East.
How many
top
3 classes did those South Carolina teams have?
What's that?
How many of those South Carolina teams got to avoid the hardest parts of the opposite division when they played? Like,
I know one of them was that they were the only team in the SEC East to have beaten Alabama until the Tard Man finally did it this year. 13 years later.
Last year, technically. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like the people, like you were just talking about him giving Stetson hell. I mean, you've got to bring up the fact that Stetson disappears in games. I mean, if not for that defense and if not for Georgia's kicking game, there's a reason that Georgia they led the nation in red zone offense, but they also led the nation in field goals in the red zone because their offense stalled out all the time in the red zone.
Maybe that had to do with the fact that if you really stop and look at Georgia, a lot of the guys that caught passes were tight ends. They didn't really have, and I think most Georgia fans will be completely honest, they don't really have like an AJ Green type of wide receiver like they've had in the past. They don't have that.
Yeah, because they're running the mid-2000s Patriots offense. They're running the exact same thing. Feed the running back, feed the slot, feed the tight end because Stetson Bennett's arm's so weak he can't get it down the field except 1 or 2 plays a game. You can't expect him to throw it down the field accurately multiple times a game like
that's just I mean,
Joe Burrow
I can say, all right, well, so I can say the same thing about Hendon Hooker. He was too much of an idiot to figure out the Virginia Tech offense. So he had to be a 4-string quarterback and then go to Tennessee where it's basically 8 different plays, run up to the line as fast as you can and throw 5 and 7 yards.
Maybe the Virginia Tech offense was just bad. I mean, it's not Fuente
Justin Fuente was looked at as a quarterback saver and everything else, but whatever. I mean,
is Fuente even an OC somewhere? I mean, all these OC jobs opening up, he can't even get a call. That's crazy.
Maybe he just doesn't want to coach anymore. Maybe you should look into Justin Fuente a little bit. Try that. Google that for me.
I mean, it wasn't like there was other quarterbacks that were succeeding under him.
Any other thing?
He's hanging out. He's hanging out there in the mountains of Virginia somewhere, still smoking his weed and
$4 million to hang out in the mountains of Virginia. That's not really that bad.
fine if you want. I mean, that's the trade-off. You get your big fat buyout, but you get known as a failure forever. I mean, if you're okay with, if you have the fortitude in your heart to be okay with being known as a failure at a team that's got a great talent base in Virginia Beach. I mean, Virginia Beach puts out some of the most talent. I mean, it usually goes to FSU, Tennessee, Georgia, places like that because he can't recruit for shit. But if you're okay with just being known as a failure forever, then I mean, live that Butch Jones buyout by, you know.
On top of everybody blowing the FSU penis. I mean,
I'm just saying FSU. They do well in the Virginia Beach area and the Newport News and all that area.
They do well stealing other people's players too, but you know they still ain't won shit.
Oh, I think they're. I mean, top 4. Some people have them top 4, top 5. I think that's a bit overhyped, but I mean, we'll see. But I don't think they have the depth to stay up there. I think if Jordan Travis gets hurt, they don't have any quarterback behind them. But I don't know. We'll see. I think people are slobbing on Stetson just a little too hard for a dude that a quarter of his games or a third of his games he didn't throw a touchdown.
Why can't you be respectful of the fact that he won 2 national titles? You SEC people talk about, oh my God, this is the absolute toughest conference ever. Mizzou and Vanderbilt would win the ACC. He rolled through an SEC schedule, didn't lose a fucking game.
I think a lot
then won the SEC championship. This season, he won the SEC championship and then won the national title. And that's still not good enough. I mean, I'm sure he's laughing at all of you saying, you know what? That's so cute from you Tennessee fans. We can't even watch your last national title in HD. We could watch the last 2 that I've won, though. That's
do you think if Stetson Bennett went down in the Oregon game, anything about Georgia's season would have changed? Honestly,
all those things are hypothetical. I mean, if I were to spurt up to 6'7", I could make the South Carolina basketball roster because I have a hell of a jump shot. I mean, we're just going to talk about things that could be, if this happened, if that happened, if you know, that doesn't make any sense, man. We can go by what's real, and what's real is the hardware, and Stetson Bennett has that.
And that's fine, man. If somebody came to me and said, "Hey, name your top quarterbacks of all time," Terry Bradshaw wouldn't be there, even though he's got 4 Super Bowl championships.
I don't think people run around.
He wouldn't
saying
be on anybody's
Terry Bradshaw is the best quarterback ever, anyway. But whatever, man. You want to die on that hill?
I don't either. I don't think he's in the top 20 or the top 10. Sure. But you guys are out here acting like Stetson Bennett because he won a couple championships off the back of his defense is God's gift to earth.
Okay, we'll put you down in the Stetson.
I never said that.
Put you down in the Stetson.
Rob's all mad at Peg and Megan for not respecting Stetson, and it's just like, dude, man.
I mock Peggin because he made comments before. That's why. He also said Jimbo Fisher would win the West this year. How'd that work out? So there's that.
Can't win them all. So if Stetson was such an important part of that Georgia team, and he's the reason why they won those championships, you don't think they'll three-peat next year?
I don't know exactly how their roster is going to shake out. I think it's a little bit too early for that. But here's what I do know is that there were more highly touted quarterbacks that were behind him, and a 2-time national championship head coach said, that's the guy that I want to go with. Can't really argue that. Can't argue against that on this program.
I guess we'll see. I mean, just because you're ranked higher don't mean you're better always.
They were the best team in the country.
They
were the best team in the country this year, and he was the quarterback for them.
And that's why you can sit there and throw a potato at the quarterback position and still succeed.
Cool.
Just like the Ravens did in 2000. Throw a potato at the quarterback position and just let your defense hold teams to
you keep
150 yards
the Ravens,
a game.
But pretty much after that, you've had to have a pretty good quarterback to back there to do some stuff. And if you watch the national championship game, Bennett was throwing all over the damn place. Had a lot to do with him.
Well, yeah. I mean, when he's got a month off and his arm isn't tired, it charges back up and he can actually throw for a little bit of distance.
So
but when he's playing a full season, halfway
everybody that plays in the national championship game gets a month off.
So he's like a vibrator.
I'm saying Stetson halfway through the season, his little sore arm started hurting him. His little tiny baby hands, he couldn't throw nothing, and he went 3 games without throwing a touchdown in a row.
Maybe, sir, maybe his hand was too loaded with rings that it was just too much to tote around. Maybe that wore his arm out. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe that's why Trevor's national championship ring. Maybe that's why he couldn't win the other day because his weighing his hand down too much.
I understand you want to bash out at people, and I understand that you're upset, but you don't have to throw shade at Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going to be fine. Don't get upset.
Since he rewards himself with Waffle House when they win, did he punish himself with Denny's when they lost, or how did he handle that?
I don't
know, but I did go to Yelp and look up Kansas City, Missouri to make sure there was indeed a Waffle House there for him to go celebrate the big win yesterday when they got it, but they kind of came up a little bit short. So I don't know about Denny's.
Yeah,
there's Denny's pretty much everywhere. So I would say probably so.
You think they should have kept? You're probably one of those guys that they should have kept Gardner Minshew over Lawrence, right? You want to go down that hill?
They could the offensive line they could have got if they didn't waste that first round, that number 1 overall pick on Lawrence.
Okay, well we'll just chalk Trevor Lawrence up as a failure. Who else is a failure? So Stetson Bennett's a failure, 2-time national champion. Trevor Lawrence,
Tom Brady,
he's a failure. Who else is a failure?
Tom Brady's not a failure. He's actually done it on multiple teams, and he doesn't let his team down in big moments, and he doesn't go multiple games without throwing touchdowns and all kinds of stuff like that.
Tom Brady threw red zone interceptions last week against the Dallas Cowgirls. Please.
He's like 47 years old. What do you expect?
Please hang up the phone, sir. You're just making an ass.
I'm talking about his whole history. I'm talking about his whole history.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence. Same thing as Marcus Mariota, man. He's just clone. He's gonna have it.
All right, let's go ahead and
we're gonna move on.
Do this one like a Christmas present and wrap her on. Jerry Wells said Denny's Grand Slam or Perkins Tremendous 12. Last time I ate Perkins was up in Pennsylvania back in October. The wife and I were the only 2 people eating in there. It was on like a Monday or Tuesday night. Well, actually, we were there probably about 15 minutes after we first got in there. There was a couple behind us here, probably in their 60s or 70s, and they kept talking about the Catholic Church, and they were getting there into a big argument. And the lady, I don't know if she had COVID or something, but she was hawking up things and being pretty loud.
Jackpot went and got the COVID. That's what he's trying to say.
No, I didn't go get the COVID. I think she had it.
803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Brock with a great question. Stetson Bennett went to the Heisman ceremony. Where was Hendon Hooker? Point to ponder.
Megan with a good point here. He says he loves how Rob always mentions Mizzou and Vanderbilt when you're describing the SEC. Not one of the last 5 SEC teams to win a natty.
Oh, okay. Well, we could talk about, I don't know,
Mississippi
State. I mean, where else do you want to go? You want to talk about Arkansas, which is Missouri's shithole? That too. I mean, where else do you want to go, man? I mentioned Vanderbilt and Mizzou. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Big Barney Ross says the Talking Balls channel looks like a good place for a Febreze commercial. Oh, no. Hey. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Is the game final yet, Jackpot? Is it over?
No, they went to the booth to see if this guy caught this pass for the Cowboys. If they did, it looks like they'll have a first down, but they're still probably a good 50 yards away. Time for one Hail Mary. It's an incomplete pass. You gotta have two feet in bounds in the NFL. I forgot. So they're down to their final play. Gonna have to have a miracle here.
5 seconds left. Brandon says, but it's over. Dallas fans.
It'd be like a 75-yard Hail Mary.
Dak Prescott can get the ball down that far.
Boomhauer says South Carolina just lost to Notre Dame again.
Brock wants to know if the people from Talking Balls all live in the same trailer park. I don't know. That's a good question. The only Tennessee show that we really talk about here is our buddy Mr. BVD.
Yeah. Good show there. Good show. Good quality entertainment. Good factual entertainment as well.
It's not he doesn't block anybody because he's not chicken shit. So there's that. Jerry is pissed. You might be right about that, sir. I would buy into that too. Travis is correct. It was a better game for South Carolina than how.
South Carolina crapped down the back of both legs. They should have won that game. That was they gave that one away. They really did.
Yeah. Pagan says, Rob, you could mention South Carolina. You know that team who beat the ACC championship didn't even win their own division in the SEC. Okay. Look, Clemson had an off year, sir. I mean, you want to pick at Clemson, that's fine.
They've had 2 off years in a row.
Jay wants to know how the hairless guinea pigs are. Yeah, you can hear them over here bitching. They want me to give them some lettuce. I'll probably have to give them some more lettuce when the show's over there.
They bitch at each other?
No, they bitch at me. Like if I walk into a room, right? Like they'll just start doing this little squealing ass thing. I guess you could probably hear it over there, but they squeal when they want more lettuce. They like spinach and straw and whatever other vegetables they can come up with.
What a shithole.
What happened?
They lost.
Yeah. Anyway, 19-12 is the final. The Dallas Cowboys, their fans will be bitching forever.
I mean, they disappoint better than any team I've ever seen ever. Like, I mean, they really, really do.
They went 12-5 this year. Now 12-6, but they had Dak Prescott has games where he looks like he's the best quarterback on the planet, and then he has games where he looks like an absolute shithole.
Tonight he looked like an absolute show.
It's like a seesaw. He could be on one side or the other, but there's no balance in between. He never has a game where he goes like, 14 for 25 for 180 yards and 1 touchdown, and the Cowboys win. It's never that way. It's either 33 for 35, 4 touchdowns, no picks, or 6 for 30, 4 interceptions. He's so bad one way or the other. It's a mess.
6 for that sounds like a Connor Mitch stat line.
Yeah, the last team to play good defense against Brock Purdy was the Clemson Tigers. Write that shit down on your pipe and smoke it. Yep, he was the quarterback for Iowa State.
Did he play in that game? He hadn't quit too.
No, he played the whole game. Got his teeth kicked.
That's right. Yeah, it was the running back was the one that had quit.
Yeah,
that was the reason why you won.
Megan says the rumor is you were the one who demanded those guinea pigs be hairless. I should explain myself, sir. You should Google hairless guinea pigs. It's not like I got an idea. Hey, let's get a guinea pig and shave it. No, I would never do that. These came that way.
That's inhumane.
Yeah. There you go with that.
I had some guinea pigs when I was probably 10, 11. I had a couple of different ones. They died, though. I don't know, and I don't know from what. I mean, I went out, and they weren't babies. I mean, they were grown. I went out there one evening. We kept them in the garage and in the little pen or whatever. And they're just really stiff. So they were dead. I mean, I don't know what it was. Somebody told me we didn't feed them enough lettuce. I said, hell, they eat it all the time. I said, you got to feed them more.
We feed our pigs plenty of lettuce. We have had issues with guinea pig homicide here with our German Shepherd, but generally, I think guinea pig's lifespan is like 2 to 3 years.
The German Shepherd killed a guinea pig?
Yeah, twice.
How the heck did you get? Damn.
Well, Elsa, like we have a cage, right? And, Elsa comes in and she sees this little squeaking little guinea pig. She thinks it's a chew toy. So she grabbed, first one she got was Vanilla Ice, which was one of our hairy guinea pigs. and my wife says he's an albino. So that she made quick work of Vanilla Ice, who probably died of a heart attack when he seen this big ass fucking dog sticking his nose in the damn cage, sticking her nose in the cage. And then we had Deuce, who met his demise because her demise because just kind of peeked into the cage. Dog thought it was another.
What are you doing? Are you doing something now different to keep Elsa at bay?
Well, now a family rule is if the dogs are inside, the guinea pig cage is locked up and the dog can't get anywhere near it. If she goes over to the guinea pig cage now, she can't really get into it. But
Okay.
yeah, so Elsa's 110-pound big dumb animal though. She's not very smart. She runs head first into the door. She's just not. I mean, she's a pretty dog, but she's dumber than a box of hammers, and she likes to kill.
Zigzag.
If we made her a Tinder profile, it would be, "Hi, I'm Elsa. I like to run into the door. I eat guinea pigs, and don't expect me to think." That would be her Tinder profile. She put her up on doggy Tinder. It'd be hilarious. Not very smart.
Does she ever fart?
Does Elsa fart? I don't know. I mean, I guess she does.
My dog farts a lot, and it's terrible.
Is it that bad?
Yes. He'll be laying up in the bed, and I'll go for the remote, and he just cuts one, man. I mean, it's pretty raunchy.
Rick says, I'm the only bald guinea pig he's seen. Very good, sir. Very good. All right. Well, Jackpot, it's been a good show. We'll be back at it on Wednesday. I mean, unless you want to talk about the Gamecock basketball team, we could talk about the Clemson basketball team and how they're going to hurt my feelings eventually. They're playing Georgia Tech next. I wouldn't be shocked if they lost to Georgia Tech.
Did you see anything about and this was in response today from a video by our favorite UGA video maker there, Uncle Lou, conspicuous by his absence tonight, about Ed Reed. Did you know that Ed Reed guy that used to play for Miami got a job for like a day coaching a football team?
Yeah, it was Bethune-Cookman, and from what I gather, he wanted to go back to an HBCU to help the young athletes that are there. And that was what he wanted to do. And apparently it's weird because Ed Reed made enough money in the NFL where he doesn't have to coach. So if he's going back to coach there, I mean, he obviously wants to coach. But I think there's just so, and this is a documented thing, a lot of HBCU athletic programs are so entrenched in just, it's like the financial end of it. It's like embezzlement and all kind of stuff that goes on there. And this is something that goes on across the country. And, you know, he was upset when he got there that they didn't have his office, like, if they didn't have his office ready for, I mean, just all kind of stuff. And then they rescinded his contract and he didn't want to leave, but he was basically told, hey, you got to go, that kind of thing. And he just started. I don't get it. Let's go to the phones. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Good evening in that.
Good evening.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
I don't know what I'm calling in for, but I just tuned into the show and I'm just calling to say that I'm happy y'all are running the show tonight.
Oh, well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also want to say that if Uncle Lou was around and available to call, he would call.
Okay. Anything
I
else,
also
sir?
want to ask once again, I called last week and I want to ask if you guys are planning on being at the Slob Olympics in a couple months.
Yes.
Jackpot's going. I got to talk with the wife and see if we'll go down there.
Yes. Someone's actually hooked me up with a hotel room. He actually is using
Somebody
Hilton
hooked you up with a
points
hotel room, Jackpot?
What?
Somebody hooked you up with a hotel room?
Actually is, yes, for 2 days. He's using Hilton points. Gave me some Hilton points.
Yeah.
So
that's phenomenal.
that works.
Now you know there's a lot of pressure if you don't show up, right?
Why would I not show up?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes we've helped people out on your channel and other people's channels, and they don't show up. So,
well, we're
No, I'll be there.
record of showing up when we're supposed to.
well, what about you, Rob? You coming? Come on, buddy.
I gotta talk to the wife and see if we can work something out. We'll come down there for a day. I hadn't really thought about it.
Well, the wife can't be one room over. So let's get on it, buddy.
What's that? What'd you say?
I
I'm
said the
sorry.
wife can't be but one room over. So let's get on it.
She's right over there. Oh, the wife's over there giving me shit now. Like if I don't show up, it's the wife's fault.
Well,
no, we just haven't talked about it. It's not like I can say, hey, I'm going to Charleston for the day to go run around and do Slob Olympics with you guys. Got to talk with her about all that, because we have the 3 children here. And
has the wife ever been to Charleston?
Where's Dad? The other 2 don't care, but one does. So got to keep the one child happy. And
I'm not hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk with the wife. I'll tell you, I'll have a concrete answer for you on the Wednesday night program. I'm gonna talk with her about
this week Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll give you a concrete answer on Wednesday. So
okay, well, I just want you to know that we'd love to have you there. This is Sir UGA.
I will tell you that if I do go, Big Barney Ross is going to be my security guard because I don't trust any of these Tennessee motherfuckers that will come
Big Barney Ross coming.
I'm going to have to employ his services if I'm going down there because I'm not going to put up with any bullshit. And if Big Barney Ross goes, I will definitely employ his services down there because I'm not going to be mocked by a bunch of Tennessee fans. It's not happening.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, there ain't gonna be a bunch of Tennessee fans there.
No.
And second of all, let me tell you, I got 4 kids and I found a babysitter. So you and Mrs. Sanders, y'all get on it, okay?
Well, I will. I'm going to talk with the wife about it as soon as we get off the program here, sir. What are the dates on it?
All right.
Well, what is it? It's March. What March?
You know the dates. It's March 3rd through 5th. Now, come on, that's an irrelevant question.
Brother, I'm not very bright. I mean, seriously.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I am dumber sometimes than a bag full of tacks. I'm not bright sometimes. I can't remember any fucking days. That's why the wife has to send everything to my damn calendar on my phone. I'm literally lucky to be able to stand up to this monitor and speak sometimes. I mean, I'm surprised I have opposable thumbs, sir. I'm not very bright sometimes.
Yes, sir.
I'm expecting you to put some pressure on old Rob Sanders there and get him down there because we fully expect both of you to be there as a team.
Well, if Jackpot and I show up as a team, that's not going to be fun for everybody else. We're going to beat the shit out of everybody else. I don't even know the events. I don't even know what the events are, but if Jackpot and I show up together and we can compete together, nobody has a shot against us. You're out of your damn mind.
That's fine.
I see.
We just want y'all's company.
It was some West Virginia dude won it last year. How the hell can you have a Slob Olympics with someone from the fucking Big 12 winning the whole damn thing? That's ridiculous. We go down there, we're going to destroy everybody.
He won the damn thing. Oh, good God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's out there singing country roads and burning couches, and we couldn't get somebody that's a Georgia fan to win this.
He's out there making a video about conference expansion.
And by the way, Pigskin Pete, he ran his mouth on the show. Well, you guys need to show up. How did you let someone from West Virginia beat you in the Olympics last year, sir? You should be ashamed of yourself. Now it's coming to your hometown down in Mount Pleasant, and you think we're supposed to just come down there for that? You couldn't win the title last year? That's a bigger flop than South Carolina going up there and beating Clemson. Shame on you, Pigskin Pete. Seriously.
Are you two done listening to yourselves?
Good point, sir.
All right, boys, I love you. I just want both of you to show up, and thank you for the show, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Sir UGA signing out.
All right. Begging Megan says, unless there's a dick eating contest, Rob has no shot.
Somebody was when they were out in the stands there in the corner. was holding a toy chain, I guess, or something, and jingling it down as Brock Purdy is running around here. He's hugging somebody. I guess this is mom and dad. I don't know, but it looked like, I thought for a second it was a pair of panties that somebody was dangling down, but it turned out it was a chain because he actually ducked under it.
Oh, I thought somebody was just, giving him a clean set.
Well, you remember, back in the day, the girls used to throw their panties at concerts, and I used to throw them at Nature Boy Ric Flair and things like that. So I didn't know if that was a pair of drawers that somebody was dangling in his face, but it was a chain.
I think Tom Jones was big with that. Tom Jones was like, hey, he's the one where all the women threw underwear at him.
So it looks like, according to Brandon Coon.
Hold on. I don't need permission to go. I'm going to make sure the wife is cool with me going. That's all. It's not like I have to ask. She's my mother, for God's sakes. Holy shit, y'all.
Brandon Coon says that apparently Trajan Jeffcoat, the big 6'4", 275 pounder, is going to Arkansas now. How does that happen?
Man, the Mazodcast guys are going to love that.
How can he get into Arkansas but not South Carolina? Jesus Christ.
Well, because Arkansas, all you need to get into Arkansas is, the ability to peel a banana, right? That's pretty much it, right?
Color between the lines.
Yeah, make sure you color and pass the coloring test. That's pretty much all you need to get into Arkansas. At least at South Carolina, they expect you to qualify as by like the NCAA.
You have to be able to actually write your name to come to South Carolina.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
All right. Well, Jackpot, we've had a good show. We'll be back at it on Wednesday, and we'll see you guys later on.